you very much. All right, hello everybody. How you doing? So I'm Kiley, and I work for CVS Health. I'm in charge of our customer experience strategy and our client retention programs. When I was asked to present here, I was asked to talk about what our most impactful use of AI and data and digital over the last few years. When do we actually go use it? When do we implement it? No talking about theory in the future and what could be done, but what do we actually go do? And I have something really good for you because we saved a lot of money, we won some awards, and what I'm going to talk about applies to everything you heard yesterday, what you heard today, and what you'll hear the rest of the day. So to start, just thinking about the rest of the day today. Raise your hand if you think you're going to have a good day today. All right, very good. All right, raise your hand if you think you're going to meet some good people today. All right, I like that. How about, is your plane going to be on time today? Raise your hand if it's going to be on time. All right, yeah. We got about half. I feel more confident. So would you agree that you know more about your potential happiness than I do? Right? You're you, I'm me, I don't know anything. What if there was a way that I could say with a high degree of confidence that I know what your level of happiness today is going to be? So this was the challenge we set out to do here. Here we go. So thinking about today. So I looked at the weather outside. I looked at the area we're in, the city that we're in. I looked at what breakfast is going to be. I had a general idea of how today was going to go. And then I got even more specific, which you guys didn't even know. Like, I knew, for example, that you like to show up early, so I made sure the doors were open ahead of time. And I know that you love creamer with your coffee, so you noticed there was 2 cups of creamer out there, so we would not run out. And always, you sit facing the screen, so that you notice that seat was reserved for you when you came in. In fact, I did this for every single one of you in this room. Did you know about it? No, of course you didn't. Also, I'm not being truthful. I didn't actually do it for each of you. It'd be impossible to do it, right, for 130 people to customize your experience to make sure that things were smooth for you. That's 130. That's impossible. I did it for 2 million people. I'm about to tell you how. Love this quote right here. Thinking about the work that we do right now in customer experience, what happens? You get a complaint, you call the person back, say, I'm really sorry, and you solve their problem, right? The CEO gets an email, everybody, we have to go solve this problem. I'm really sorry, I'll fix your problem, right? So you have, who here has a complaint department? Okay, who here has some kind of escalations department? All right, who has a proactive solutions department? Right? So we are geared up, all of us, whatever industry you're in, we're geared up to say, when there's a fire, I put out the fire. When there's a problem, I put out the problem. We're going to have problems no matter what. The question is, can you solve those problems before the paying customer sees those problems? This is what we set out to do. Now, we talked about surveys. TS talked about surveys yesterday. Everybody's got their opinions on surveys, and this is the reality. I have 10 million phone calls that I'm responsible for, 2 million customers, patients, and 2,000 clients. We survey all of them, but about 4% will actually fill out a survey, and half of those will actually leave any comments. I see heads nodding. You're seeing the same things. So it's effectively saying this table right here, however you feel about today, is how everybody feels about today. Right? That's basically what we do. Now, the question we set out to do was, can we take that, and instead of saying only 2% or 4%, can we actually predict everything else? So raise your hand if you've ever been surprised that an employee quit you. Now, you've all known that. Yeah, of course you have, right? You've had a good employee. What do you mean you're quitting? Who's been surprised that a client didn't renew their contract? It's happened, right? How about a customer, a longtime customer, and all of a sudden they're no longer there. They don't call you anymore. It's happened, right? Now, there was probably signs along the way that showed that those people were going to leave us. And let me tell you how we did this. Here's why it's really important. So I'm in charge of client retention. So $3 billion a year in contracts come up for renewal. I have to make sure those clients are happy. That's about 10 clients. Picture 10 clients sitting right here, all with the contract in front of them, all with the pen right here. And the CEO asks, how many of those are going to sign? On the one hand, you can say, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. On the other hand, you can say, well, actually, 8 out of 10 are about to sign. One of them, the lawyer needs to review the contract a little bit more. And the last one, their pen ran out, but they'll get to it. Like, we can know ahead of time. And this is what we didn't have 3 years ago and what we have now really, really well. Here's what it looks like. This is what we call the predictive outreach was the initiative. The concept is like a menu. This is how I describe it. 52 different items on this menu, things that you would already know. One being demographics. Where do you live? How old are you? What's your income? We all have this kind of information. Some of them might be your interaction data. How often do you call us? How are those calls? How often are you, what are the sentiment on those calls? Social media posts, where you directly message out to us on some social media platform. Macro data, what are our competitors doing? What is the economy doing? There's a lot of data out there. Who thinks there's an overwhelming amount of data available? Yeah, right? It exists. Can you put it in a way that you can actually do something about it? And this is what we did. We spent a lot of time on this 52. Taking all those 52, they don't all matter. For example, if you live on the West Coast or East Coast, that kind of matters if you're going to be happy or not. But it doesn't matter as much as did I give you your life-saving medication on time. If you've been, you complained on social media that healthcare is, or our virtual chat, that you're really complicated, everything's so complex. Yeah, that matters, but not as much as if I gave you a surprise $3,000 bill. So of this menu of 52 items, they don't all matter the same. So now we can weight them. So now picture this. We talked yesterday about A/B testing and trying new things and failing fast and doing all those. It still happens, you're still going to fail, but you're going after the right items. So now we align our digital teams to say these are the 5 most important things to our customers. We align our operations team to saying these are the 5 most important things to our customers. We align our IT teams. Everyone is aligned in the same direction, saying this thing matters the most. Then here's second, here's third. And stop spending time on these things that don't matter. Make sense? All right. Now let's go into this next one here. So now, you have all this data. You've got this big menu of items, these 52 items. First thing you're going to find out if you actually go and do this is how much money and time you're wasting. I did. Because now you match up, look at this great initiative. We're so proud of this thing. We've spent 2 months on it. What's it going to do? Oh, it's going to impact number 47. So if you didn't do it, it really wouldn't have an impact. And here's the scary part. When we had our list of our top 5, these are the items that really matter. If we really want to retain $3 billion, if we really want to grow our business, grow our market share, we have to do these 5 things. How many of our initiatives match up to these 5 things? And I won't say how much it matched up, but I can tell you it was eye-opening. And it was more of a, we hit whatever we can hit. We took the low-hanging fruit. We thought what we thought, but we didn't have a good data-driven approach to it. Now, with everybody aligned, is my picture of the root cause with a Band-Aid. This is the one that So if you understand that the number one most important thing to a patient, and I deal with specialty the majority. So this is the life-saving medication, cancer, hemophilia, fertility, things that is very expensive, life or death kind of. This isn't just customer service, customer experience. This is like really important work. And these root issues right here that keep coming up, we need to solve those. We can't just keep waiting till there's a big issue and then putting out that fire. Waiting till there's a big issue, putting out the fire. So that's my little Band-Aid on the root here. What we were able to do, we have this menu of 52 items. Then I have 2 million patients. I can apply this model then to all 2 million patients. And I can say, with unbelievable accuracy, by the way, like 91% accuracy, that if they did a survey right now, this is how they would score us. And this took a long time to do. It took us a while to actually figure out a lot of failures in this. But it's unbelievable. So now, and here's how we can test it, because we can literally say, I think all these you people right there, you're going to score us a 7 out of 10, you're going to give us a 3 out of 10, whatever. And then when you actually do the survey, we match it up where we right. And we're right. Now you have this information. Here's the beautiful part. You can take a certain population. You are very happy. You're going to score us 10s. You love us. What can I do for them? They probably need, they want to be loyalty programs, or they'll be ambassadors for us. When I message them, I'll message them in a way that they can repost it on their own social media, because they'll be brand ambassadors. You right here, you'll be neutral. You'll be, I could leave or I could stay. I'm not really sure where I'll go. So maybe I call you and just make sure everything's really good. In fact, I look for ways to surprise and delight you. So I call you and say, hey, I actually work with a manufacturer. Imagine this phone call. Work with the manufacturer. You know, every month your copay is $1,000. We actually found this program. It's only going to be $10. Now you shift from, okay, to, whoa, I actually love you guys. It's pretty good. And then the detractors, the people who are going to be very upset, there's all these factors that go into why you're going to be upset. We can look into those root causes. That's where we're going to spend our money. That has a high, high return on investment. So when you look at all these things that we've talked about so far, I got so much pushback in the beginning, by the way. And there's people in this room who are thinking, this doesn't apply to me. Can't do it. Too much data out there. We don't have the budget. This is all the things that I heard, right? You know, we all hear the same things. The reality is, this was profitable in 90 days. And it has been the most profitable initiative that we had last year. So what ends up happening is, if you take the money you're spending, this is how we started it, take the money that you're spending on your the escalations department, the complaint department, peel off a couple of people. Then we had another company called Cyclum, and there's other companies out there that help you, data science, and kind of plug that in and say, okay, so I have a couple of people, now I have the data, I built my menu, built my model, now what do I do? Go do a little bit, just a little pilot. And you'll see what happens is those patients, those customers who were upset along the way, they're calling you every month because they have a problem. Now they don't call again. So one solution for them, maybe it takes a little bit longer, eliminates 3 other inbound calls. And your escalations department will have fewer escalations. In fact, I'll flip onto this one right here. Take a moment, and these are like the only numbers that I have on this slide right here. There was positives to this that we didn't even anticipate were positives. The big one is the reduction in inbound calls. Because if you're calling every month to make sure that your medication is there on time, and now I've proved to you that it's on time because I've built that trust and we've implemented these programs, you don't have to call anymore. If you have a bunch of questions and I know why you have those questions and I solve those questions proactively, you don't have to call anymore. Very profitable from a reduction standpoint. The digital satisfaction was huge and unanticipated. We can take now the metrics that matter the most, and like I said, we focus the digital and the IT, our website, our app, our text messaging, emails, all of these initiatives now geared toward what matters the most. Are you more satisfied when you get an email that actually applies to you, that you can do something with? Are you more satisfied when you get some random email you have no idea about? Of course. Now we're targeting what we do. Who uses Net Promoter Score or OSAT surveys in their company? All right. So you have some kind of a survey that you need to survey, like how are we doing out there, right? I'm not allowed to put the actual numbers on here. I'll tell you this. 3 years ago when I took over, we were not very good. If you look at what Net Promoter Score is, what world class is, we hit world class this year. And when you look back on what were the initiatives that really drove this, this predictive modeling, predictive outreach did. I'll add the one more point on this $104 million increase in EBIT. There's a cost associated with it. Who has a budget that you have to make sure that you make every year? You got some kind of, right? And if you want more money, you have to go prove, I mean, at least I do. Like, why do you want more money? Here's what I want to do. I want to try this thing. All right, I think it'll work. I want to A/B test. Who does A/B testing and gets a little money for pilots, right? Everybody wants to do let's try something new. However, if now that we have this menu made, now that we can say without a doubt, this is what matters, now that we can predict how everyone's going to survey, all of these A/B tests are so much easier to get approved because we can say, if we do this, this is what we're targeting. So this profit, there was an upfront cost. We started really small, like I said, it was this pilot program, then it expanded, so then it expanded to all of specialty where I am for all of our 2 million customers. And with the reduction in inbound calls, the reduction in escalations, the reduction in callbacks, all big drivers of satisfaction, we actually ended up being $104 million profitable last year because of this initiative. And it's still going on, and it's expanding to the rest of the company too. So as you're thinking about what you're doing out there, and you're thinking about proactive work, and this would be an opportunity for you to think about for yourself. We can raise your hand if you'd like, you can share if you'd like. What I'm trying to think about is there a way that you can, thinking about this, I could do something different proactively? Is there something you're thinking about right now with your own business? Like, actually, we could use our data in a different way. We could actually be more proactive. Yeah, please. Yeah, thanks. Love that. Love that. Yes, thanks.
I'm also in the health insurance industry, so I'm on the payer side. Wanted to ask you, when you did this model, did you need to deploy new staff to do it, or do you think you could use folks that are already there because you'll have the reduction over time? Like what's kind of worked well, you think?
Yeah. So I was told no every step of the way. I was told no new budget, no new headcount. And by the way, the company's great. We do a lot of innovative work. It just wasn't the right time. You got to make quarterly earnings. There's all these different reasons, right? So there's nothing against that. And I knew that going in. So this is a great question. Where I looked for this was, where are opportunities that we have? Where do we have any kind of bandwidth to do this? The escalations team, the complaint department. It's the first level escalations, and then executive escalations is what we have. Each of those have a vested interest in heading these up. They don't want to deal with it. You don't want every time your phone to ring to be a problem. So having them say, hey, this is an opportunity that we have to do this. Then from a data standpoint, originally we did it internally. We then partnered externally, which made it go a lot faster and helped a lot. But internally, it was a couple of data science people who were trying to build their careers. And I just asked them, if you want to be a part of a unique project that nobody thinks can be done. And, and they signed up. Yeah. So it started with 2 data science people and 3 people from the escalations, piloted it, and then we started getting money and resources for it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Do you have a process and a way to continue to keep those models updated to what you're seeing real time?
Okay, perfectly. I'll point out that there's this QR code right here which has all my contact information. So I'll help anybody. I'll help do this. There's actually another 2 companies I'm helping set up the same thing because it does really work. And I don't get any vested interest out of it. I just like helping other people. So I'm happy to help that. I'll answer the second question first. We are continuously updating it because now we've got momentum. It really works in specialty. It's also going to work in insurance. It's also going to work in retail. So we continue to refine the model, add new data, and keep expanding. From an actual technicals of it, how they did it is way beyond my skill set. It was amazing though, how they isolated the different variables, and this is a whole different world of data engineering and data science that it was fun to watch, but I don't know that I could even answer a question educatedly enough. But yeah, absolutely. Good question. Yes?
Great presentation, first of all.
Thank you.
Love to hear, how do you measure that containment of 44% digital satisfaction? That's a big number.
Yeah. So this one, our normal NPS survey comes through. He asked, how do you measure digital satisfaction? So our normal survey gets emailed out, and they answer the 0 through 10 NPS score standard kind of thing. We added a post-call survey, and we added a post-digital survey. So if you're on the chat and you finish up your chat, rate this experience. If you're on the website, it'll pop up off to the side that says, how was your experience right here? So we already had 2 years of data saying we weren't very good. We had a lot of opportunity. And so we used the same methodology because we didn't want to change it. However, what I think gives us even more credibility is we did a control test on this too. So we maintained everything business as usual here and tested it here. The 44% is full implementation. Now we're everywhere in digital. But yeah, the initial results were even more versus control. Yeah.
Great presentation. So it sounds like one of the key success factors for it was selecting the right external partner to actually do the modeling work and come up with their solution. We are facing some challenges with a lot of different external partners coming in saying that they can do X, Y, and Z and
Yeah.
all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But how did you find that right partner, and what made you go with them so that this actually is a success?
Yes. So we evaluated probably 10, because you're right. We get the best people and we can do the best things and so forth. And I listened to all of them because I didn't know what was out there and so forth. Then the one that we chose to work with, I felt like they really listened to what I was trying to do versus, I think some people come in with a solution looking for a problem versus, hey, this is my actual, right? I was like, you don't need to sell me a solution and I'll figure out what I need it. I was like, here's my problem, help me think through it. And they spent a lot of time unpaid just talking through it and helping me understand, here's what I can do and can't do, because sometimes my ideas can exceed the realm of possibility. Yes?
So sorry, I'm losing my voice, but the promoters that you mentioned, like the ones that are gung-ho, and you look at how you turn them into champions? Thank you very much. With the ones that are the promoters, the net promoters, when you turn them into champions, what do you actually do? How do you activate that? And can you use the same investments that you made to build out the platform to activate those champions?
Yeah. So this is where I'm very proud of our marketing department. So we've kind of handed that part off to our marketing department because they come up with, here's ideas where we can do coupons or mailers and so forth. I'll give you one really good example. Let's say your kid has to have an injectable. Every time a box shows up, comes off, they know they're about to get a shot. They're terrified. I don't want this. This is horrible, right? Like, don't keep me away from the box. But if we can put inside the box something personalized to them, to the kid, saying a handwritten note from a pharmacist saying, I know you're going to get through this. You're going to be great. I'm so proud of you. And by the way, here's the coloring book. You already have the first 2. Here's the 3rd one that you need. Now it changes the whole dynamic from, oh, I have to do this, to when's my box get here? I'll get through that part, but I really want the other surprise and delight. And there's a lot of different factors that went into that. That's one example of many from couponing to just simply nice messages. The Moments That Matter was a really good campaign, identifying birthdays, anniversaries, what your favorite sports team is and how they did. Imagine just getting that. Like, I really like the Detroit Lions, and I get a message saying they won. Like, there's some interesting things, interesting dynamics of that. There's a lot of options. We got time for one more. Sorry, one more. Sorry. Good discussion.
Thank you. I'm also great talk. I work at BioMarin, rare diseases. So I'm interested in the shot concept. So do you partner with your pharma companies that you distribute for to do programs like that?
Yeah. Is that Kelly, by the way? How you doing?
Allie.
Hey. Yes. So this is another good thing. Once this thing starts to take off, especially the Surprise and Delight and some of those other initiatives, vendors want to be involved because it's a feel-good story for them. So vendors, pharma, from our aspect, loves to pay for things like this. That's where we get a lot of funding. So it's a good, feel-good partnership moment. I do have to get off the stage. I love this. Good discussion. I really appreciate your time. Reach out to me if you need me. Thank you so much.